When to buy altcoins? It's the question I get most, and it's a question I cannot completely answer, but I can definitely let you know when I will do that. I can speak for you, of course. But let me get over that. And in the meantime, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, do something, send some flowers, I don't know. But somebody asked one question regarding this video. When will you buy altcoins? Can you make a video on that? Because I know friends who missed the 2020 bull because they were waiting for lower prices. Once the market takes off, it will fly, and will you not get left behind? And somebody else said as well, so how do we know when alts are at their lows or almost at their lows? So let me at least show you what I think and how I am going to play this. So there, if you want to look at this for yourself, you need your trading view. Okay, if you do not have that, you cannot invest, because there are just certain charts that are basically telling you what's happening, right? So you need that. So what I'm mostly looking at is, well, at first Bitcoin, right? Because what we noticed is that whenever Bitcoin goes up, the Bitcoin dominance goes up as well, right? So it shows you that if people are waiting for altcoins to fly, they basically now think like, okay, Bitcoin has to go up, right? Well, it kind of shows that whenever Bitcoin goes up, the dominance goes up as well. We can overlay them with each other, like this. Let me put it on logarithmic for you so you can see that right here. And it's quite moving in the same direction, right? It's kind of doing the same thing. So it shows whenever Bitcoin goes up, the dominance goes up. What does that mean? That means that altcoins are going down on their Bitcoin pair. So then you were better off buying Bitcoin, right? Because your altcoin is worth less against Bitcoin. So in that case, you could have better bought Bitcoin. Then what if Bitcoin goes down? Well, if Bitcoin goes down, the altcoin market also goes down with it on the dollar pair, right? So if we, for example, now overlay the total 3, the altcoin market, and in this case, that's the orange line, you can see whenever Bitcoin goes down, like for example here, the altcoin market quite tanks a lot as well, right? And a little bit more extreme because of course there is less liquidity in the market. And you can see it as well like this, like, hey, here Bitcoin was sitting at, well, the lows basically sorry, this is the Bitcoin dominance, not making any sense right now. Yeah, Bitcoin goes down, altcoin market goes down with it. But what you can see is that whenever Bitcoin was sitting here, right, at 16,000 or something like that, it did a 2x from there. And what did the altcoin market do? We're sitting here at this level, and where is it now? At this level as well. So it's just showing like, hey, the altcoin market, accept your exceptions, of course, that you're probably going to put in the comments because, no, buy this altcoin, you stupid motherfucker promotion. Accept that exception. Altcoins are like at best staying still. Right? So, yeah, okay. The good indicator is to at least follow what Bitcoin is doing. Okay, but that's still not the answer to the question, I know. But you have to understand this at least, okay? So when to buy altcoins? Well, when to buy altcoins? When the big crash that I expect is going to happen is over. And I said this on the Patreon, but I wanted to let you know here as well. But if you want to have these exclusive videos where I go way more in depth and about my own portfolio, strategy, etc., go to the link in the description or in the comments. There's Patreon right there. You can be me. You don't want that. But I'm very personal on there. Like, hey, what am I doing? But for example, BNB. Why BNB? Do you care about BNB? Maybe not. But the thing is, it is one of the bigger altcoins. And if this goes down, the whole market goes down with it, basically. So BNB, for example, if you look at this chart, you see that it came from, well, very low prices, had a big bump, and ever since then it is just hanging here, right? And it's basically sitting at its last support. Okay, this whole area, this green box right here is the support area. Let me remove this. This is the support area, and it was in the same area, for example, back in June 2022. Or May 2021. So people be like, okay, you know, big support. So it could easily bounce from here. However, you have to understand this. Overlay Bitcoin once again, and you might get some interesting perspectives on this. If you overlay this, then if you save like, hey, BNB could bounce right here, then you're basically saying, hey, Bitcoin, you better go up hard right now. We all know that this stage of the market, the second half of the pre-halving year, so far, every time Bitcoin went down. Okay, this time could be different, of course, but yeah, are you betting your money on the fact that it maybe could be different from now on? I don't know. That's on you. But usually Bitcoin goes down. Now, the question is, can BNB take that? I don't know. Because the last time, for example, BNB was sitting at this level, that was when Bitcoin was sitting at 20K, right? Now, Bitcoin is already sitting at 27, 28, 27, 28. BNB is still sitting there. So what's the conclusion? Well, one, if Bitcoin goes up, apparently the altcoin market, in this case BNB, but overall most altcoins look like this, don't care, right? It doesn't go up. So when you missed out, right, you could have better buy Bitcoin right here instead of these altcoins. But two, what if, again, like every time so far, Bitcoin goes down? BNB has no more to hide, right? So the thing is that, you know, if we look at this whole support area where BNB is sitting right now, it can take a hit of like 14%. But after that, it's quite lights out, right? You have to realize, okay, what if Bitcoin goes down to 20K or so, right? Again, that would be so far the best scenario so far. If that happens, then that's the most bullish that ever happened so far. Maybe it won't happen again. This time, maybe it won't happen, right? But it's optimistic if I say that Bitcoin just goes down to 20K. All right, and again, maybe you're in the camp like, this time's different, ETF, whatever, news, all good. Cycle-wise, happened every time, at least. First cycle made a slightly lower low, so lower than 15K in this case. Second time, it's made a slightly higher low, which is more comparable to like 17K, give or take, right? So if Bitcoin now goes to 20K, yeah, okay, bullish still. But you have to realize that if Bitcoin goes down to 20K or maybe even lower, is BNB going to stop with just 14%? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, well, I think I know what's going to happen then. BNB is going to break this, and then it can go down hard, right? Therefore, you have to always take a look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair. Like people, they might not give a shit about Bitcoin, but it is implying like, hey, what's going to happen on the dollar pair then, right? Like BNB, for example, as well. It's sitting in its last support on its Bitcoin pair. So if this breaks right now, if the dominance goes up a little bit further than this, which is in a major uptrend right now, by the way, so very likely, then where is the Bitcoin pair going to go? Well, this support is almost broken, right? So then it could probably go down another 40%, right? If it goes down 40% against Bitcoin, yeah, the only way to save BNB on its dollar pair in that case is for Bitcoin to go up extremely hard. Again, that's completely betting against the cycles, right? So I just want to see how this phase of the market is going to play out. And this phase of the market usually is from now until the halving. So I just want to see how it plays out, because maybe I'm wrong, right? Could be. But maybe not. Maybe it's just going to play out like it usually does. And in that case, altcoins are going to get completely screwed. And I don't want to be the one that says like, hey, you know, do you need some exit liquidity? Here I am. Like, no, right? Because these are the phases in the cycle where we don't see these like little dumps, but where we really see 40, 50, 60% dumps on altcoins. And that's accrual about the market. People think that the worst is over, right? Well, we go down super hard. We go sideways for so long. It's boring the hell out of everybody. And then we get maybe some news about the ETF. So people are getting cautiously bullish, the people that are still here at least. And then, bam, down. And that's what the market does. That's how the market gets people out of crypto. That's how the market wrecks people. I've been there before, and I saw it happen before, and I just don't want to be there again. Therefore, I'm keeping a lot of cash on the sidelines and Bitcoin. It's Still doesn't answer your question though. I know. How do you know? Well, what was your question again? When will you buy altcoins? Can you make a video? Otherwise, in case we miss out. And here as well, how do we know that altcoins are sitting at their lows? Regarding that question, how do you know they're sitting at their lows? I think that Benjamin Cohen said something very interesting about that. And let's, for example, go to some altcoins on the Bitcoin pair. That's when altcoins are holding up against their Bitcoin pair, even if Bitcoin goes down. That's just what it is. Because if they are not, well, then you could have better bought Bitcoin, right? Like if altcoins are losing against Bitcoin, then why weren't you in Bitcoin? It's one, safer in the first place, low risk, and two, if they lose against Bitcoin, then you are losing money anyway, right? So a lot of coins like Arwe, for example, just picking up something right here, right? But as long as it's making lower lows and lower highs, yeah, this is not good. You want to see it form a bottom, right? A lower high, or higher highs, higher lows. And again, if we miss out, it probably won't look like this, right? That's never happening. It forms a bottom first, right? And wait for the confirmation. You don't have to buy the low. You don't have to buy the bottom. You do not want to buy the bottom, because then you are gambling, right? This is the bottom, I'm gonna buy. This is the bottom, I'm gonna buy. This is the bottom, I'm gonna buy. And then you're so wrecked that you just feel like, I'm strategically DCAing. It's not strategically DCAing. Just throwing your money away in a slower pace. Like you just throw your money away every week instead of once, right? Like it's also not smart. You can better wait for the bottom to really work out on its Bitcoin pair and then buy it, right? Did you miss some of the bottom? Yeah, but you saved yourself all this. So who cares, right? People are buying this all the way down. You don't have to buy the bottom. If it goes up, you can just as well buy the way up. You have a better entry than these people, but the risk is not there anymore. Regarding the first question, when? Well, again, Bitcoin dominance is in a major uptrend, right? It was ranging for 2 years, right? Between, well, let's say 40 and 50%. Okay, again, this all comes down to altcoins. What is an alt season? Whenever the Bitcoin dominance goes down, it's an alt season. Technically, this was an alt season. Technically, this was an alt season, but very small ones, right? If we're really talking about alt seasons, we just had 3. Changed my mind. We had 1 alt season. You can maybe call this 1 and this 2, but I'll see this as 1. We had 2 and we had 3. That was where the dominance really went down hard, right? Now, if the dominance goes up, then it's of course not an alt season. We are in the middle of a Bitcoin season, right? That's literally what this is. This is Bitcoin season, aka get your money out of altcoins. And again, people could be there sitting in the comments with, no, look at this altcoin. Fine, but your altcoin is included in this chart. And even your insanely performing altcoin cannot change the direction of this chart. So it's not an alt season, right? Exceptions will always be there. If you want to try to find them, go ahead. That's not what I'm doing. What I want to see is the Bitcoin dominance to top out, right? And I think it's probably happening here somewhere, right? Then it's maybe time to say like, hey, convert some Bitcoin back into altcoins and then write your alt season. The chart that does it the other way around basically is this. And this is the chart that shows me when to buy altcoins. Okay, so if you go to TradingView and you type total 3/BTC, and then don't click anything, just hit enter, you will find this. This is the, well, total 3 divided by the Bitcoin market cap. This is basically every altcoin on its Bitcoin pair. Okay, and this is showing me like, hey, should I buy alts or not, right? Because again, even if you feel like, man, I don't care about Bitcoin, it's not about that. It's not about giving or don't giving about Bitcoin. It's about making, saving, or losing money, right? Because check this. This is where this is end 2021. This is where the bear market started, right? Now, altcoins on their Bitcoin pair were going sideways in this whole period, right? Of course, went up and down, but overall they ended here, went sideways. So, of course, altcoins on the dollar pair went down by then, but that was because Bitcoin was going down, because on their Bitcoin pair, they were the same. So altcoins only went down because Bitcoin went down. However, since beginning this year, when everybody basically flipped bullish on altcoins for some reason, but beginning this year, you see that this trend has broken down, right? So what's happening now? Now altcoins are losing on their own, right? Now altcoins are losing against Bitcoin. So altcoins are now going down, not because Bitcoin is going down. Matter of fact, Bitcoin did it 2x since then, right? But now, so first Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down with it on the dollar pair, stay the same against Bitcoin. Then finally Bitcoin goes up. You think like, hey, altcoins could go up as well. No, then altcoins go down on the Bitcoin pair, right? So, and even in the shorter trend right here from June till September, they finally started to have a little life again, and it broke down. So I've drawn this because this is my expectation. It's kind of also what happened here, right? Last cycle, you saw the same thing basically. They were sitting in this distribution phase, broke down towards this level, give or take, right? Just like here, had a little uptrend where it climbed all the way up, right? And then broke down again. Well, what do we see right now? Exactly the same. Like the time frame that it's playing out, like this was way more extended, this was way shorter. The overall, the direction is the same, right? We were in this distribution phase, broke down, bounced right here at 55%, went into a short-term uptrend, and now broke down. Yeah, I think that we are going to see something like this again, where we now break down, retest, and then get into this phase right here. The thing, look, thing is that in this phase of the market, that in my opinion so is now still likely to come, what did Bitcoin do? Bitcoin went from 12K, give or take, to 5. Overall, I think it went from 14 to 4, by the way, but Bitcoin went down quite a lot, while altcoins on the Bitcoin pair went down there as well. And that's what we haven't seen yet, right? So far, everything is doing the same. So what happened here happened exactly right now. So I'm not saying like, so what happened here is going to happen now as well, but we definitely should keep into consideration that that's also very likely that that could play out. If that's the case, then what do we see? We will see altcoins going down on their Bitcoin pair, while Bitcoin is also going down. And like I said, that's what we haven't seen yet. Here, Bitcoin went down, but altcoins were holding up, right? So altcoins just went down with Bitcoin. Here, altcoins went down on the Bitcoin pair while Bitcoin was going up, right? So altcoins stayed kind of the same. What's now, in my opinion, likely to happen is that altcoins go down on the Bitcoin pair while Bitcoin is also going down. And that's the cruel part. That's the part where altcoins can go down on the dollar pair hard. So I just want to see that play out, right? I just want to see that play out because I am not willing to say like, hey, I'm gonna put $50,000 in, and after a couple of months see that, oh, I have 8,000 left. That's what happened here, like really. So when to buy altcoins? Yeah, I can't give you a date, but I can show you on the chart. Yeah, sorry. And that's here. This area is when. Right? It's more like where, but when, whenever we get there. If, like, again, this is now so far exactly following this. If for some reason this is going to change now, then we have to see by then, right? Like, hey, what's your invalidation? We'll see. We'll see. I'm not even like thinking about that because so far it is exactly playing out. We have just have this down, this uptrend broken, just this, right? And here it was like since we broke this, until we got there was like 22 weeks or so, right? We just broke this right here. So if we put it at 22 weeks, it is February next year, right? So I'm not even saying that it has to play out this year. This year is mostly, don't try to care about altcoins anyway, right? And if it does get there, like in the meantime, I'm dollar costing Bitcoin, because if the market does turn very bullish, I'm at least riding it up, right? Because what would, like also narrative wise, what would cause it for this chart to do this? What would make altcoins so bullish against Bitcoin all of a sudden? The only reason, apart from just the cycle that's playing out, but the only reason apart from that, that people say that there's going to be a bull run is because of a Bitcoin ETF. A Bitcoin ETF, not an altcoin ETF, right? So if the market turns bullish, it is because of Bitcoin anyway. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. And again, look at this, for example. Again, Gala, right? It's funny. This is Bitcoin on its Gala pair, right? Look what it's been doing. And this is just the one that I happen to have in my screen, but it's basically every altcoin looks like this, right? What did Bitcoin do since April last year? Did a 14x. It's insane, right? Sitting exactly at 2 million, but whoa, that's quite crazy. Look, 2 mil, exactly. Nice. But yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at. Like, hey, if I have bought this altcoin, then I've been down so much. Everybody looks, for example, only at Gala USDT or Gala Bitcoin. Like, and again, in this case, Gala, but it could be anything, right? And it'd be like, oh, it's down 96%. Whatever, it goes down 98. That's a huge difference. But this chart, maybe this just did the other way around, but this might give you a little bit more perspective, right? Like if your altcoin that you bought looked like this, you would have been happy, right? But this is mooning. It's very simple. If I would have had one Bitcoin and I've sold it here, I could have got 130,000 Gala. If I now have one Bitcoin and I sell it right here, I can get 2 million Gala. That's the way you should look at it. If you want that altcoin anyway, now you can get 15 times as much for the same price. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So I'm not even looking that much at the total 3 anymore, which is the altcoin market basically, except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like this is already not looking good, right? Like it has been going down since the bear market started, and you could say like, okay, it broke out, right? We had the rejection here, here, here. We finally broke out, but now we're riding it to the downside. Fine. But if you look on a slightly shorter time frame from here, May 2022, you can also see it's making lower highs. It's been making higher lows as well. I have to give it to you, but it's also making lower highs, right? And I think this is going to break to the downside, not to the upside. Why not? Simple. Because, like I said, altcoins are going down against Bitcoin. It just takes one little correction for Bitcoin to crash alts. Now, again, in my opinion, at this level, it is not unlikely. Like I showed you before, crypto is cyclical, right? 2023, same as 2019, same as 2015, right? If we look at 2019, half of the year we go up, went in July, half of the year, and we go down. 2015, half of the year we go up, was June, July, we started to go down, right? What do we do right now? Half of the year we go up, it's June, July, and we already started going down, right? Yes, we did go up from 25 to 28 again, but overall, if you look at half of the year, the downtrend is this. The downtrend has started, while the dominance is in a fucking uptrend. So if you buy altcoins because you think your altcoin is going up, you are saying that's because Bitcoin is not coming down from here and it's going to be fucking bullish for Bitcoin. Then why don't you buy Bitcoin? Less risk. And if you're so convinced in Bitcoin, right? Like, eventually what you want to see, and then I'm gonna wrap it up, is that the Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin are not so correlated anymore, right? Eventually what you want to see is Bitcoin going up while the dominance is going down. That's a huge alt season then. That's an alt season. But so far, that's not the case. Right? And don't be like, yeah, but we cannot wait until it happens, then it's too late. Then when you want to do it, here. In the meantime, you're throwing all your money away in the altcoin market. I've been waiting for more than a year. You know how much I've lost? Nothing. You know how much I would have lost if I bought altcoins? Or at least missed out? You know, I've bought Bitcoin. I've been making gains, right? This thing is going up, right? And if Bitcoin goes down, I don't care. I don't care. Because it's also my dry powder to buy altcoins with. It's also my dry powder. Right? Again, if you look at this chart, it's halfway there. If we get here and I have a bag of Bitcoin, I can buy all these altcoins with my Bitcoin. Don't even care if these altcoins are sitting at their dollar bottom or not. It doesn't matter. Because I can buy the bottom with my Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin I already bought. At the bottom, under the bottom, above the bottom, right? Because I'm DCing into that. It is so far, by so far, the safest and the most rewarding strategy. Of course, you can YOLO into every 100x altcoin that a YouTuber or someone on Twitter shills, but the chances that it's not playing out is very high, right? So by the time you do, if you get it, but by the time you do get that 100x, yeah, you need it as well to recover your losses from all the bullshit you bought that went down. That's casino shit. Come on, we are here to invest. Therefore I started the Patreon as well. So again, check it out. But that's like, if you know this stuff, it's funny. People always want to see these videos with the 10 altcoins that I, and these videos of mine also get most views. Well, this is actually the information that if you have this and you know this, you don't need that. You don't even need that. If you're like, 10 altcoins that can do a 50x, bro, I can make my portfolio 50x and I don't even need risky altcoins for that. So what the fuck are we talking about? So I want to leave it there. Guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video. Yeah, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. You're welcome. All right, bye.